Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. Let's take a look at our full moon in Taurus on Wednesday, November 5th. Opposes the sun in Scorpio, highlighting the contrast between what you have and share and what you do not, and the abundance and pleasures of life versus the reality of inevitable struggle and mortality. Mercury conjunct Mars in Sagittarius opposes Uranus retrograde in Gemini, adding a fool's journey storyline to the intensity of personal versus shared value or intimacy situations or decisions, which the moon and sun are urging you to look at and dig into more deeply. Although some things may seem heavy or extreme at this full moon, Mercury, Mars, and Uranus do offer you a shift in perspective, a what-if curiosity to welcome growth and change, and a resilient sense of humor to take absurd and unexpected interruptions to life in stride. Manifesting power is enhanced at this lunation because the Venus-ruled Earth sign of Taurus belongs to the second house of personal finances, and Pluto-ruled Scorpio belongs to the eighth house, where money, assets, and values are invested or shared in love or business. Spectacular aspect patterns, including a castle, a grand trine, a mystic rectangle, and two kites, pull the energy of multiple planets together to work on your behalf. But a grand cross, the Sun-Moon opposition, and Mercury-Mars-Uranus opposition are running interference and distraction by activating resistance, fear, procrastination, excuses, and avoidance. Even if you know something needs to be done, or your desire won't let you rest until you do something. Venus, a planet of pleasure, desire, familiarity, beauty, and comfort, rules both Taurus and Libra. Right now, Venus is transiting Libra, forming a destiny-determining Yod aspect pattern with Uranus in Gemini, and Saturn retrograde conjunct Neptune retrograde and the North Node, all in Pisces. Love is the key that heals the past, changes the present, and paints a happy future. Some of you may return to a person, place, or plan from your past, and some of you may wake up suddenly and realize it is time to let go and choose a new direction. All of us will have instant manifestations which prove to us that energy flows where attention goes, and whatever receives our attention grows. If something doesn't feel good, or the love, time, or money you share is not appreciated or reciprocated, love yourself enough to withdraw. So let's take a look at the chart for this lunation. Another thing that Taurus represents, governing that second house, is self-worth and self-esteem. It is a fixed earth sign that can show a lot of loyalty and perseverance and endurance, particularly in matters of the heart, because it is ruled by Venus. And generally, the more time goes by, the more attachment occurs under the influence of that sign. So, depending upon what your situation is or who it may be with, if you have a history and you have a lot of time invested and a great deal of loyalty, it may be harder for you to break away if you feel that that's something that you must do. Then you may have a bit more of a struggle if this full moon is highlighting relationship for you and stay or go energy. We have some other tension in relationship-oriented energy right now. Well, Taurus and Scorpio are on the trust axis. They rule houses 2 and 8, where values are important, not just the money, but the values we have personally as individuals and the values we share with whoever we are more closely involved with, sexually or financially, in business, in committed relationships. So a lot of big energy there with the sun in Scorpio right now, And the sun is making this sesqui-square to Neptune, which can be a romantic influence, and Saturn, which can be about commitment, endurance, the work, the longevity, the reality of something. Neptune is the idealism planet, and Saturn is a realism planet. And they are conjunct, and they are also very close to the North Node in Pisces. And this has a lot to do with fate, destiny, purpose, karmic situations, learning lessons, taking on the responsibility to commit and either go in further in matters of the heart or to pursue your dreams and desires, perhaps any that you have suppressed, or if the time was not right in the past, now you may be looking at a better time. And we will have Mercury retrograding during the month of November, I believe from the 9th until the 29th. And I know many people say, oh, don't do anything during Mercury retrograde, but there's a purpose to retrograde planets. We pay more attention to a planet when it's retrograde. Mercury rules communication, transportation primarily. And there may be things that you have to go back over, pay more attention to, edit that book, get your car checked, whatever you might need to do that involves communication or transportation that you've not been paying attention to. Now you may be paying attention to it as we have Mercury retrograde. But if there are bigger plans, this lunation has this castle aspect pattern, which embodies within it a grand trine. And the minor grand trines, 3 of them all overlapping, which contribute to the grand trine creating 2 different kite patterns. And then the 1 minor grand trine here caps off a mystic rectangle. So we have Mars and Mercury in immutable, flexible, forward-seeking, expanding fire sign. And very adventurous, very curious. We have the curiosity of Gemini as well, with Uranus, and Gemini is a dual sign, so more than one option or opportunity or path, and the chance for you to have some sort of an epiphany, aha moment, or even a thought and an act of rebellion where if you're bored or you've been stuck, you're just ready for a shakeup. And maybe you will do something that is radically different. Or maybe you will simply decide that it's time to move, travel, take a trip, escape, get rid of a whole bunch of stuff that is weighing you down. Freshness. You want freshness with that opposition. And what else do we have going on? Ah, yes, the sun to Saturn and Neptune. That, as well as the semi-square that the moon is making to Saturn and Neptune. This is kind of like asking for God, your guides and angels, other energy outside of yourself that you are not able to see. Kind of saying, okay, I'm going to let go to a certain extent and let you do some of the work. So there is a bit of a subliminal letting go, trusting the intuition, watching for the signs, looking to see what your instincts are telling you. And then once you get those little twinges or feelings, or some people may get some direct messages, I don't know. It really depends upon how you experience your own psychic abilities. Some people hear, see, sometimes it's audible, sometimes it's a voice you hear in your head, sometimes it's images you can see like on a TV screen, And some people are just clairsentient. They know, they just suddenly know. We have so many interactions with psychic planets right now. Jupiter's in Cancer. We've got the Sun in Scorpio. We've got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So we've got the water influence there, as well as the Moon in Taurus. I find that Taurus is a very psychic sign. The energy of Taurus, many sun sign Taurus people I know are extremely good at psychometry, the ability to read the energy from objects, holding something that belongs to somebody else and being able to read that energy. And a lot of them are very good spiritual healers in terms of healing the physical body. Taurus is often a sign that's concerned with the safety, security, comfort, and pleasures that other people experience. Many work as massage therapists or in the hospitality industry or sales work, especially selling land, property, houses, luxury goods, things that are expensive or endure and increase in value over time because of the association that Taurus has with the second house of money. And the endurance factor and the quality comes from the fixed nature of that sign, the persistence. What else do we have going on? The Yod, Venus in Libra, that is relationship oriented, rules the seventh house of one-on-one relationships, also has natural artistic sense, similar to Taurus. The Venus influence, because it rules both those signs, gives both those signs a keen aesthetic sense in terms of beauty, music, art, fashion, design. Those signs just instinctively know what's beautiful. Very often they are natural artists as well without realizing it. Libra is also concerned with diplomacy, social etiquette, balance and negotiation in relationships, looking for the win-win between people. But it can also be strategy and sometimes the judgment and the competition. Mostly Libra is looking for fairness as well as balance between people. And the Yod, those green dotted lines forming those quincunxes, which are then linked up by the sextile, tags Uranus in Gemini and Saturn and Neptune and the North Node in Pisces. This really is like feeling a hand on the top of your head saying, okay, you're made for something a bit bigger or better. You can work at being a little more unique or perfect right now, and you've been ignoring your dreams and your visions, and it's time to put them in motion. And you don't have to take one direct, clear path. This Yod seems to be saying, you have more than one option. You have a sea of infinite impossibilities and probabilities in front of you because of the Pisces energy. It truly is saying you can change your mind about whether something is possible or not. If you believe that you can have it, you can receive it. If you believe that you can create it, you will make it. This really just comes down to following the impulse of the heart that's already got a vision or a belief or a feeling that is strong enough to dominate a lot of your time and energy, a lot of your thought. And even if it means your life will change radically, it's time to lean into that Yod and really, like, how can that steer you wrong when you have Uranus at the top of a kite And you have Saturn and Neptune as part of another kite, topping off the castle. Uranus, part of the mystic rectangle, which gives a lot of power to basically transform a situation when you go off on that fool's journey, when you take that risk or chance. The mystic rectangle always manages to box in the two oppositions within it, and usually oppositions are a bit more challenging to handle and to direct to a satisfactory outcome without a lot of struggle. But this kind of converts them into a powerhouse, enabling you to apply those sextiles, the short blue lines, and the trines to create the change, take the opportunity or growth, have the inspired, adventurous, experimental, open-minded, well, just willingness. And it's not just, oh, I think I'll do that, but Pluto is such a determined planet. It gives you the willpower, it empowers you. So we have the empowerment going on there, the risk-taking, the wild hair, just jumping in and saying, go ahead, do that thing. It's going to be good. Don't worry about it. Then the faith and the inspiration, plus some work, showing up and actually physically doing things. Both Saturn and Mars are physical planets. This isn't saying sit around and do some affirmations and it'll all be delivered to you on a silver platter. This is, hold your vision, state your intention, and then do what you can do toward achieving that. And the universe is going to step in and fill in the blanks or keep moving you along and opening the doors in front of you. But you have to put the energy in motion, particularly on the physical level. So we do have the physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, all going on in this very busy sky right now. That big grand cross, well, I mean, the two most benevolent planets are being held in check a little bit, but they are still benevolent planets. You're just going to have to try a little harder to get all the juice out of them. And Pluto will give you the determination. Chiron in Aries, well, I think it's more that you're afraid of failing like you may have done before. But you know what? The success that comes after multiple failures can erase all those times that you failed, or at least change your perspective about it, that they were just practice runs until you were ready for the success and the real thing. There's enough drive within that big red box to go after what you want. The yod will carry you further still, because the yod is going to dissipate some of the square energy coming out of Venus. And the same thing with Pluto over here and Jupiter at the other two corners of that square. They're doing a lot of work to convert the energy of the squares and the opposition through those sextiles that they are forming in the trines. So where there's a will, there's a way, for sure. And it's really, really, really so important to just pay attention to what your energy's doing, your feelings and your thoughts. And every time you become aware, just remember that what you're thinking and what you're feeling is determining your future. And you're going to get more of that. So if you don't like that, change it. Look at something else you like better. Even if you have to start doing it in incremental steps because you can't fully believe the bigger, better picture, just do baby steps. Replace the one negative thought with some other slightly better thought, and then just keep working your way up until you can actually believe and then see in your reality the results of your attention being focused on things improving and being the way you want them to be. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. Okay, so we round up to 14 degrees of Taurus. On the beach, children play while shellfish grope at the edge of the water. Keynote, returning to simpler joys for revitalization. This somewhat ambiguous picture suggests the way in which simultaneous activities of different natures can fill the individualizing mind. The consciousness of socialized man operates at two levels, in close parallelism with what goes on in the unconscious parts of the mind, i.e. the sea. Natural urges are half conscious, half unconscious. They exist in a borderland, the wet sands still partly covered by small waves. The children play a little further away, learning imaginative yet sociocultural games. The hard-working porter loaded with baggage, and this is referencing the previous symbol, should remain a little child at times and allow himself to be close to subconscious but natural urges. At least he should do so for a while until he feels surer of himself. This symbol suggests that it is better not to attempt at once more than one can achieve through conscious and ego-driven ambition. It refers to the value at this stage of close contact with natural energies and simple pleasures, of a live and let live attitude. Well, definitely at the end of the forecast here, and I always pull up the Sabian symbol after I've written things. I don't look at that beforehand. Some of that live and let live is there at the end to withdraw if necessary and to direct your attention toward yourself. That's partly because of Chiron here. Why would you choose to take on more burden, more pain, more challenge, more hurt, more difficulty if you are not receiving anything favorable in return? If you are putting out energy, especially in any type of a relationship, your job, a romance, a marriage, a friendship, any type of relationship, and there's nothing coming back in that fully affirms you or supports you sufficiently, then you have to raise your vibration and want more for yourself so that you become happy, basically. The rest and retreat, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, that's the going within and the connecting to the greater, well, the unconscious, the subconscious, the higher mind, and higher beings outside of yourself. And that castle is directing energy there. We also have strong water symbolism with Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, all at play at this lunation. Let's see, anything else jumping out? Just curious about porter carrying heavy baggage, self-mobilization for social advantage. The man spoken of in the preceding symbol is now integrated in his social pattern. He has to carry a load, perhaps a load of debts following an ambitious buying spree, or some other social burden. He is the strong man, the man of ambition, who has to take care of the inward-turned woman aspect of his consciousness, the aspect that seeks to grow a beautiful garden of individual selfhood. At this third stage, we see the outcome of the first two. The relationship of ego man and society has taken the aspect of compulsion for gain. Wow. Taurus Scorpio, which we have going on right now with the moon and sun, is going to highlight what you have, what you receive, what you give, and what you do in all of that. Whether you are willing to, many people are very good givers, but they're not necessarily good receivers. And if you would like more of anything in your life, accept it. Years ago, I read a book called The Trick to Money is Having Some by Stuart Wilde, at a time in my life where I had to manifest quite a lot in order to make a major move. And I knew that I had a pattern of not being able to simply accept and say thank you. And I took Post-it notes and placed them all over my place, particularly mirrors and over the kitchen sink, places where I would really notice it. There was a line in Stuart Wilde's book, "Acceptance is the foundation of receiving." So maybe I just gave you a good affirmation to stick around the place if you're the type of person who complains that you don't have enough in life, but when somebody tries to give you something, you say, "Oh, no, no, I couldn't possibly take that," or "No, thanks, no, I really can't." And you keep insisting and insisting and keep that away from you. Give somebody else the pleasure of gifting, which is just as pleasurable, if not more so sometimes, than receiving. Be as gracious a receiver as you are a giver. And that is something that Taurus and Scorpio energy brings out at this full moon. Look to see if you are in balance in that area of your life and open up to greater flow. Also, if there's something that you do very much want to manifest in your life, then give some of that. For instance, if you want greater flow of money, tip the waitress more generously, or go and donate some of your used things somewhere. If you're needing new clothes, give some of your old clothes away. Basically, start things flowing. Whatever it is you would most like to receive, give it. Okay, I think that's it for this full moon, and enjoy it because it's powerful. Stay safe. We do have Mercury making an opposition to an erratic and unstable planet, and Mercury is conjunct Mars, and they are in a sign which does rule travel. So do pay attention, double check all your tickets, your safety of your vehicle, make sure you have all your luggage and arrive there on time. Arrive early so that you don't have to rush around. I'll be back again tomorrow with the daily forecast. Have a little ceremony tonight under this super full moon and tell the universe what you desire. Give thanks for already having it.